Hello, VC, and all you thrifty music collectors, and everybody else watching this on YouTube. I'm Tim, and this is another episode of Random Records by Year. This is where I show six records from a certain year that's randomly selected, or the records are randomly selected by my computer. As I said in the last episode of this, which was the first episode, that these are not my favorites or like the top so many or whatever. These are randomly selected from all the ones that I have, or that I have in the spreadsheet so far, and I keep adding them to the spreadsheet. I have over a third of my collection in the spreadsheet now, and I'm still entering the albums, my albums in there. And but I'll show 6 of them. I'll talk a little bit about the artist and album, depending on how much information I can find, and I'll just say a little bit, let you know what tracks are on there, let you know what songs were hits, and where if I can find that information, and maybe a little bit other information on the songs, and then I'll also pick 2 songs from each album that has favorites, and the favorites, I've set guidelines where I won't let them be the top 30s of any chart for being my favorite. So unless it's a greatest hits album, something, or a compilation album where they were all hits, and I'll let you know that I didn't have any of those in this one, so like that. So, and I know it's been 2.5 weeks since my last video, but sorry about that, because my health problems, and also a cousin of mine passed away also, which just had me a little bit down for a little bit. But with that said, let me get going with music. The year for this video is 1977. Okay, like I said in the last one, I used my notes. I'm trying to not use them as much. I'm trying to keep it shorter than the last time, because it was over 20 minutes. The first album for this one is by Dan Hill. The album is Longer Fuse. It's a gatefold. You'll notice that the lyrics are in it. It's from, like I said, it's from 1977. It's on 20th Century as a label. Dan Hill is a Canadian pop singer-songwriter. One of the songs he wrote was used in the movie First Blood. His biggest hit was Sometimes When We Touch, which is on this album, and that happens to be the first song on side 1, which got to be up to number 3 here in the United States, number 10 on the U.S. Adult Contemporary charts. Got to number 13 in the UK, number 1 on both in Canada and on the Canadian Adult Contemporary. It's a good song for slow dancing too. The second track on side 1 is 14 Today. The third track is In the Name of Love. Next track is Crazy. And the 5th track is McCarthy's Day. And with that one, see, his father was black and his mother was white. See, they were both he lived in Americans living in the U.S., and they moved from the U.S. to Canada before he was born, and this song is based about that because this was back in the 1950s and the time of McCarthy with the Russian scare and everything, Soviet scare and all that, and with Senator McCarthy going after people and stuff, and also with interracial marriage, and a lot of people did not look on that stuff favorably. So his parents decided to move to Canada, where they didn't have as much prejudice against them because of that. Okay, on side 2, track 1 is Gene. Track 2 on side 2 is You Are All I See. Track 3 is Southern California. Track 4 is Longer Fuse, and track 5 is Still Not Used To. My favorite songs on this album are Crazy and McCarthy's Day, are my favorite tracks. Okay, I did, like I said, he was a Canadian pop singer and songwriter. Well, now this next one is more pop, more bubblegum pop. And this guy was an actor, and his brother was a pop star and actor. It's Sean Cassidy. This is his first, his debut album. Of course, he's son of Shirley Jones and Jack Cassidy. His half-brother, I should say, is an actor and pop star. David Cassidy was his half-brother. You know, David Cassidy passed away just this past year. David was in the Partridge Family. Sean was in the Hardy Boys Mysteries and Breaking Away TV shows, and he had a 3-month stint on General Hospital in the 80s. Believe it or not, he's 59 and he's been married 3 times and has 8 kids, the youngest of which is 6. This album was released in Europe and Australia in 1976, but it was released here in North America in June in 1977. It's on Warner Brothers and Curb label. See, I go by the release date for here in the United States for the year that I go by. Well, the songs on here are, the first one is To Do Run Run, which is a cover of the Crystal song, which was a big hit for him. It was #1 here in the United States and Canada, and number 19 in Germany, and number 36 in New Zealand. Second track on side 1 is Morning Girl, which made it to number 40 in Germany. Third track is on side 1, I Wanna Be With You. Fourth track is It's Too Late. And fifth track is Hey There Lonely Girl, which is a cover of the Eddie Holman hit, which made it to number 5 on the Australian charts. Side 2 is that's Rock and Roll, which was written by Eric Carmen, and Eric Carmen had done it on his first solo album, which was a self-titled album. The one on this album had made it to number 3 in the United States, number 1 in Canada, number 11 in Germany, and number 2 in Australia. So I like that song, but of course I I can't count. It doesn't qualify for my favorites for this, so you know that won't be with one of my favorites. Number 2 on track 2 on side 2 is Holiday. Track 3 is Take Good Care of My Baby, which is a cover of the Bobby V hit, which was written by Carole King and Jerry Goffman. Track 4 is Amblin, and track 5 is Be My Baby, which made it up to number 39 in Germany for hits. My favorites on this one are Morning Girl and It's Too Late. Next up is the hardest rocker of them all. It's Giles. It says Monkey Island. It's actually the Jay Giles Band. It's their 9th album. Of course, they were formed in 1968 in Worcester, Massachusetts, pretty much as a blues rock band. A lot of people have heard of the Jay Giles Band, of course, or most people have. There weren't any top 40 hits on here, I'll let you know that right now. One song on here, a later version, it was released later as a live version that made it into the top 40. I'll let you know which one that is when I go through it. But the songs on here, on side 1, track 1 is Surrender. Track 2 on side 1 is You're the Only One. It made it to number 83 here in the US. Track 3 is I Do. That's one where the live version was released in 1982 after the Freeze Frame album released after the Freeze Frame album was released and it became a top 40 hit. I think it made it up to like 27 or something like that. Track 4 is Somebody, and track 5 is I'm Falling. On side 2, track 1 is Monkey Island, track 2 is I'm Not Rough, track 3 is So Good, and track 4 is Wreckage. Got to show you, this is Gatefold also. Just show you that real quick. And my favorite tracks on here are Monkey Island and So Good. And it was, I don't think it was released on June 9th, 1977 on Atlantic. Well, the next one it picked is a country album. See, it picked from all over the spectrum at this time around. It's Mill Tellis Art Healer. Of course, somebody named Terry wrote their name on here. Thanks, Terry. Mill Tellis is a country singer and songwriter that stirs. He died just this past November. He was awarded the National Medal of Arts in 2012, and he appeared in Smokey and the Bandit 2 and the Cannonball Run, among other movies. I always remember him in the Cannonball Run, him and his stutter. The songs on here are Heart Healer, which made it to number 1 on both the US and Canadian country charts. Track 2 is Wedding Bells. Track 3 is Play It Again, Sam. Track 4 is Someone Else Tends the Garden. Track 5 is The Morning After, Baby Let Me Down. Side 2 is Burning Memories, which made it to number 9 on the US country chart. And number 3 on the Canadian country charts. Track 2 is Gold Nugget Gambling Casino. Track 3 is I Don't Want to Feel This Way Forever. Track 4 is Everyone Needs Someone. And track 5 is It's Just Not That Easy to Say. My favorites this one are Golden Nugget Gambling Casino and Everyone Needs Someone. Now, this next one is an artist I really like. Even though I have only like five or six of his albums, Chris Brzezinski, or I should say Chris of Dixieland Farms, has commented that whenever he sees one of this guy's albums, when he's digging, he thinks of me. The artist is John Stewart. The album is Fire in the Wind. It was released in 1977 on RSO Records. Of course, I got to really start listening to him started from on the album after this one. When that was one where the song Gold was a big hit for him, and a couple other songs where some members of Fleetwood Mac did backing vocals for him on it. Also, anyway, he would to tell you some background, a little bit of background about him. He was in the Kingston Trio, which was a folk band like in the 50s and 60s. He wrote Daydream Believer, which was the #1 hit for the Monkees. And this is his 9th solo album. He's pretty much a folk singer-songwriter, and this one tends to be more folk rock. And tracks, there weren't any hits on this album. The tracks on it are Fire in the Wind, Rocket in My Own Sweet Time, Honey Like the Wind, The Renner, Morning Thunder, Promise of Wind, Boston Lady, 18 Wheels, The Last Hurrah, The Wild, well, I should say on side 1, track 1 is Fire in the Wind, 2 is Rocket in My Own Sweet Time, Honey Like the Wind, The Runner, and Morning Thunder. And side 2 is track 1 is Promise the Wind, and track 2 is Boston Lady, track 3 is 18 Wheels, track 4 is The Last Hurrah, and track 5 is The Wild Side of You. My favorite tracks on here are Fire in the Wind, which is the title track, which is a pretty good song, and Morning Thunder. I really like both of those. And then, of course, with it being 77, of course, if you know me, I have albums around all types of albums, except, and with it being 77, you know, disco was big at the time, so you can probably guess a disco album. The album is Rhythm Heritage, Last Night on Earth. It was released in 77 on ABC Records. Couldn't find much about the band. They were a 70s disco funk band known for doing theme songs. There weren't any hits on this one. Like you can see by the sticker, it shows what the first track is, which is the theme from the Rocky Gonna Fly Now. Second track on side 1 is Dance the Night Away. Track 3 on side 1 is Disco Queen. Track 4 on side 1 is the medley of Do It Again and Cisco Kid. It's interesting, I'll tell you that. Track 5 is that thing from Lipstick. Then on side 2, it's all the title track, Last Night on Earth. Of course, it's broken down into 3 parts. Of course, my favorite tracks on here are Dance the Night Away and Last Night on Earth. Oh, I am up to 20 minutes, but a little shorter than last time. So, that's all I have for you this time. So until next time, take it easy and keep on rocking.